Hello and welcome to Giant Mess, super sloppy sports and entertainment podcast that's hosted by a giant mess. That's me, the real cinch, Neal Lynch. I'm a former fourth-string college quarterback and middling middle relief pitcher who graduated with a film and media studies degree. Yowza. And now I'm a single dad who likes to talk about life, movies, TV shows, comedy, Giants football, Mets baseball. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the hot-ass start to the month of July. 4th of July, Independence Day. A harrowing experience I had at the pool, the local pool, at my complex. Seeing Despicable Me 4 with my daughter. Give a little mini review of that. Getting the lead out at the Law Enforcement Against Drugs Festival at Mercer County Park. I'm sure purchasing mega passes online didn't come back to bite me in the nards. And then my trip to the greatest little state in the Union, the Ocean State, Rhode Island, to visit some friends in Narragansett and Block Island. So without further ado, let's get it started up in here. So July 4th, Independence Day. We go to the pool for a couple hours. We got there right when it opened at 12. I think we left at 2, but there was one period where I don't know why I do this, but I like to, so you know those scenes in movies where it's like the guy's super depressed and he sinks to the bottom of the pool and just kind of hangs out there. I think it happened to Andy Samberg in Palm Springs, now streaming on Hulu. And it might have happened. Well, with Will Ferrell in Old School, he got a fucking dart in the neck. So that's why he's in the pool. But when he's in the pool, you hear the song, "Hello, Darkness, my old friend. It's good to see you again." So I don't know why I do it, but I did it. So you let out enough air so that you sink, and I'm just kind of sitting on the bottom and I'm not letting a lot of air out, but I'm not I know it might not have looked great, but I was in complete control. I knew what I was doing. And so I kind of slowly stayed down there and sat on the bottom of the deep end of the pool for a minute maximum. And so I slowly, come out of the water, and there's a shadow over me, and I kind of whoa, it made me jump, and I look back, and it's the lifeguard, and she's like, are you, sir, are you okay? And I was like, what? I didn't think she was checking in on me. She's like, and then she just kind of slowly slunk away and didn't say anything. And I was just like, is everything okay? And she was just not giving me the evil eye, but definitely kind of staring me down. And I was just like, I'm sorry. I just figured you knew that I'm an adult and I'm not going to drown in a 5-foot pool. The deep end's 5 feet. Probably should have mentioned that. It's not like a big, huge Olympic swimming pool. It's a smaller pool, and it's the deepest 5 feet. So I think I'm all right, but definitely freaked out the lifeguard. Might be. I got tickets to see Despicable Me 4. And boy, oh boy, I was very close yet again to getting that souvenir collectible popcorn. Luckily, my daughter is just unawares that that's an option or that she can get that, I think. Because if she saw these things, man, there's no way she could resist. But so I turned it down. It was only $6 more too, now that I think about it, which I don't know. So yeah, she gets Twizzlers. She houses the bag of Twizzlers very quick, and then is still very hungry. It only has maybe a handful of popcorn. I get the large bucket of popcorn, and I destroy the thing. I go through it really quick, and she's always and then she reaches into the empty bucket, and she's like, "What? It's all gone?" And she gets super sad. And I'm like, "You saw me shoveling that shit into my mouth nonstop for the past 15 minutes." I thought the movie stunk. I was not a huge fan of the movie. I was just like, this is the best that they fucking came up with. they have to get relocated because a villain knows where they live. Don't all the villains know where he lives? How do they not know where he lives? And so they're going to relocate him, and he has to take on this new identity in this really waspy, gated community that was like, this is 2024. We can't think of a better situation here. And it's like him trying to fit in. I don't know. And then he helps the girl steal a honey badger from a school of villains, and because that'll look good on her resume. She wants to be a villain, so she wants to get in the school. She figures stealing the thing and the thing. I don't know. It felt like it lacked a lot of action for most of the movie. There was like a side story with the minions where they become superheroes, and they even have a line in it where it's like, oh, superheroes again. Like they even, it's like they're self-aware that this is like, why did we do this? Why did we make the minions superheroes? And like they show them trying to do superhero stuff and they suck at it and they fail. And so they're forced to retire. And then they're called back out of retirement once Gru is in serious deep doo-doo. And then things that they do, they build it up to such a point where it's like, oh, this is going to be badass. The return of the mega minions or whatever. And they're going to put a hurting on this dude, Cockroach Man, who's voiced by Will Ferrell. It's like doing a French accent. I was like, what am I watching right now? It honestly felt like they made this movie so that they could end the franchise. Like, let's make this movie passable by studio standards. Like, we'll still make this, we'll still put this out, but like, we want it to not do well commercially and critically so that we can stop doing this franchise. That's a thought that went through my mind while watching this movie. Like, this is some poor quality stuff. Like the Mega Minions come back and it's like they each do a thing that's like not even them. It's like the things that came with I don't know. My daughter seemed to like it, I guess. So whatever, but it was like I felt like they, I guess I was kind of pissed because when they relocated, they had to get new names or they're assigned new names. And so I guess their real names, I guess I didn't get this joke at the time, which that's on me, but I got triggered. Okay. So their names are Edith, the three kids, their names are Edith, Margot, and Agnes. Okay. So now I get the joke. But at the time, I was incensed because they get new names. And one of the girls, her new name is Brittany. And then I think another girl's name is another B name. I forget, but it's a pretty standard issue name. And then the other girl, the oldest girl, says her name is Bree. She's like, what an awful name. Can I have another name? And I was like, you got to be shitting me, dude. You gotta be shitting me. I think I don't even know if I looked over. I was scared to look over at my daughter because I was like, I thought she was going to be in absolute tears that her name is Bree and that this, this character is saying it's an awful, horrible name. What a awful name. And then it's like, and then I didn't remember until now, like their names are Edith, Margot, and Agnes, which are historically like, names that are a little passe at this point. So that's on me. But do I recommend going to it? I guess a lot of people went to it. It was a July 4th opening. I don't even know how it's done. So let's see here. Box office. Despicable Me 4. It did 122.6 million gross, or the weekend gross is 75 million. It's number one at the box office. Beat out Inside Out 2, which Inside Out 2 is now over half a billion with a B, 534 million total gross with a 30.3 million weekend gross. I'll tell you what's nuts to me is that friggin' Mad Max, the new Mad Max movie, came out Memorial Day weekend, and I went to check to see if I could go see it like not even at the end of June. I want to say it was the weekend after Father's Day, so June 23rd, 22nd, not in the theater by me. Bonkers. I don't know. kind of hoping this is the last of Despicable Me. I guess 2 and 3 were pretty bad too. I remember, I think Despicable Me 3 was on TV at our old house, and I was just like, so this is just there are no lessons to be had here, huh? This is not educational at all. It's just like the minions being reckless. There, I said it. They're reckless. And like farting and all that stuff. And it's like just a lot of screaming and yelling. And I don't know. I was like, and sure enough, didn't even have the action Despicable Me 4. So yeah. I don't know. I guess go see it. Your kid will probably want to see it, but just don't expect anything great. Like there's almost zero for the adults. I think that's the key. Like even in Inside Out 2, they have little jokes or things for adults here and there. I think they might have had it for the Garfield movie. There's like zero here for adults in Despicable Me 4. And that's like, to me, that feels like the key is like to still have little things for the adults so the adults can enjoy it, but it's also great for the kids. And that's the magical mix, the golden formula. And then we come to the Lead Festival at Mercer County Park. Now, this is all in the same day. Took it to the pool, 2 hours. Despicable Me, 2 hours. Now we're going to the Lead Festival at Mercer County Park. We're supposed to get there around close to 5, a little before 5. The last time we went there was 2 years ago, also 4th of July, and she had a pretty good time. She definitely overextended herself. She was definitely tired as hell and cranky at the end of it, but I think overall she had a good time. We went on a lot of rides. We won a goldfish that I killed accidentally, involuntarily killed. Negligence, I think is the word. Within a day, within 24 hours, I managed to have it perish on me. But I think we also won a stuffed animal or something like that. We didn't come away empty-handed, right? So she played games, she went on rides. I don't think we had food. I think we did have food. So overall, I would say good experience. Like she got to see a lot of animals. She got to pet the animals. So I figure, all right, let's just run it back. It's 2 years later, but let's run it back. So we go there, park, walk over. I have no cash on me. I have $7 on me. And I'm like, it's all good. They had an ATM here last time. They're going to have an ATM here again. So we enter, get our wristbands. We enter. I paid $35 a head. A mega pass, they called it. Unlimited rides. You don't have to get credits and re-up and get whatever. You just pay the $35. You can have an unlimited rides from open to close. And I'm like, all right, so I'll pay for that. We'll go on all the rides and I can pay for the food I don't have to pay cash for the food. And then I remember, there are games, carnival games that you have to pay for. And every single one of those goddamn games is like $10 to play, which is unconscionable, dude. It's immoral. It's reprehensible. So we did a lap and I'm looking for the ATM and I'm like, oh no, there's no ATM and everything. It's all cash. You have to pay cash for all the things she wants. And so then I go back out, I ask, is there an ATM? And they're like, nope. I'm like, but you're wearing your wristband. So if you want to leave and come back, you can. So I'm like, all right, fine. So we go. Because we went to where the petting zoo is with the sheep and the goat and the cows and the whatever. And you have to pay like $5 for the feed to feed them. And I was like, but if I pay for the $5 now, I only have $2 and it's not enough for the games that you want to play. So eventually I'm like, let's just go to get to the ATM. So trying to find a friggin' ATM, impossible. Like I go to this one place, it's like a deli, it's closed. Obviously it's the 4th of friggin' July. And so then I have to go to a Wawa. It was like a 20 to 30 minute drive to find this friggin' ATM. I get to Wawa and she's like, can I have Cheetos? And I'm like, no, we're going to eat at this friggin' fair. Why am I a stickler for that? And why does it have to be so fixated and fixed and not a growth mindset? I don't know, dude. But so we go back, get in. I took out like $200, no big deal. She's like, whoa, you have all that money? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, can I spend it all on games? And I'm like, no. I know this looked easy where I just punch in a bunch of numbers and I get a bunch of money out of a machine, but I actually had to earn that money. Like, it's not, I just don't like, whatever. So we go in, we immediately go to the games. We play 3 games in 3 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. I'm down $40, but we did win 2 prizes, right? So you have the one where you shoot the water into the hole. There has to be 2 people to play, which I think is weird. But I guess that, it's a race. I guess there's a time limit and there's a balloon. So I don't know that you necessarily need the second person, but whatever. So it's, I paid the $10. I win because that's what I do. I win, right? She gets to pick a prize, a small prize. She ends up picking this like thing that looks like a pineapple, but it's a llama, something like that, stuffed animal. So I'm like, all right, now I'm going to have to carry this around for the rest of the day. And then she wants to do the one where you throw the baseballs at like beer bottles. I don't know why they have beer bottles, but it's like all these beer bottles lined up upside down. And then you throw the baseballs at them. And if you can break 3, I think it is, you get 3 chances. And if you break all 3, you get a large prize or something like that. If you break 1, 2, it's a medium, 1, it's a small. I don't know. I think you have to get all 3 to get a prize. But so she gets 3 balls. I was like, I'll do this too. So I get 3 balls. She hit a bottle with each friggin' throw. Didn't break them, but touched it. So he gave her 6 balls in all. And I think she, like 4 of the 6 actually hit bottles. I went 0 for 3, not just 0 for 3, horrific 0 for 3. Like I bounced one. It was so awful. I didn't even come close to hitting a bottle. And of course I have this Carney who missing like most of his teeth, AirPods in, and he's saying something. I don't know, he's talking smack or something. I don't know. So I was like, all right, well, that's $20 that I'll never get back. And then ended up playing another game that wasn't even a game. It was like, yeah, just this is what just pull 3 rubber duckies out of the moving water. And there's rubber duckies all over this thing, this little baby pool. And it's like, it's a guaranteed prize. It just feels a little cheap. So she pulled the 3 out before I could even pay the guy. And then she ends up picking this humongous, like it's a guaranteed prize. Everyone wins. No matter what, everyone wins. Guaranteed prize. She is able to pick this larger than life inflatable hammer that says bang on it. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, we couldn't come up with smaller prizes for this one. A guaranteed prize, no less. There are no smaller prizes for guaranteed prizes. Like this is huge. This is something that you would need to do like, gangbusters on these games. So I'm like carrying around this massive plastic inflatable hammer, an inflatable llama pineapple. She's like, I'm going to play that game. And I'm like, no, dude, like I'm already down 40. I'm not spending $200 on friggin' games for like what is essentially going to be $20 in prizes, maybe, if that. Like I'm not spending $200 to get $20 of prizes. So she kind of starts to throw a fit. And I'm like, well, you can get your face painted. I'll pay for your face painting. That's fine. So we go over, and of course she picks the most expensive one, the rainbow tiger. So she gets that done, and I took a time-lapse video of that. And luckily I got some photos of it. I'm like pretty well versed and trained at this point, knowing that I need to get evidence and documentation of this shit because it don't last forever. And sure enough, after immediately taking those pictures, she's like, it's itchy. It's itches. It's so itchy. I can't stand how itchy it is. And she's itching and itching and itching, and it's going everywhere. And I'm like, well, and then, wash it off, So she tries to wash it off. And now her face is brown. Some might say she's doing blackface. So I'm like, oh, fuck. And then she goes in the women's room. So I'm like, maybe I should just take her to the men's room and wash her off in the men's room. But now she's at that age where she's getting self-conscious about that and she doesn't want to do it anymore. So she's like, do you have any wipes? Because it's still itchy and I want to see it's everywhere. And I'm like, can we just get some food? And she's like, no, I don't want food. And I was like, can we please go on a ride? I paid $70 for unlimited rides. You haven't gone on one ride. Can we go on the ride? She's like, no, I just want to play games. So at that point, I was just like, all right, fuck this noise. We're going home. We're going home. I think it was, before I said, you know what set me off? You know what was the breaking point for me? Was I had this large inflatable hammer, this Yama pineapple, two decent sized prizes, in my opinion. Like they're not small. They don't seem too cheap. And she's like, but you told me, so going into this, I was like, if you don't win anything playing the games, I will buy you something. I'll buy you a toy. Because immediately she walks in, she goes to where they're selling shit. And is like, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this. I'm like, no. If you don't win anything in the games, you can pick one toy and I'll buy it. So she's like, I want to buy a toy. And I was like, no. You have two toys right here. You won two prizes. That's more than one. You got more than what you expected or what I promised. She's like, I don't like those prizes. I don't want those prizes. And I was just like, all right, we're going home. Screw that. And so I got kind of an attitude, because she just wanted me to buy everything. It's just like, ugh, all this stuff that you just don't want or need. For whatever reason, you want it in that moment, but you have so much shit in your room. You have so much stuff in your bedroom. You have so much stuff in your room at mommy's place. You've even told me I have so much stuff in my room. I have so much stuff at mommy's room. You said it with pride, like, bragging. And yet you're still out here and you want that and you want that and want that and want that and you want to buy that and want to buy that and buy that. It's just like, what's so frustrating about that is like, I read her, and I've mentioned this before. I read her the same exact story from this book of Bluey stories about Bluey's 5-minute stories. I read her the same exact story every friggin' night that I put her to bed. It's the Hammer Barn story. And the message that is throughout that friggin' story is the grass is not always greener on the other side of the fence, and be happy with what you've got. That's literally the takeaway from that friggin' story. The mom even says it to Bluey twice. You need to be happy with what you've got. Money doesn't grow on trees. Not everything is free. And yet we go to this. Maybe she's trying to recreate that moment. I don't know. But it's like, is that message not getting through to you? Is that not sticking to you? That I'm not going to be able to buy you everything. You can't have everything you want. Not everything you want is free. So I don't know. I was pretty bummed into that. And then we come up on July 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. So after the Friday after July 4th, I dropped off my daughter at camp, immediately took off for Rhode Island. So I left her a little after 9 and I got to my buddy's, the beach house that he's renting. I had been renting for the week. Got there like 1:30. So it was like 4.5 hours, pretty like awesome time. I did have to, when I was getting closer to his house, I did have to drop the kids off the pool, so to speak. So I went to Walgreens. He works for CVS. So I was like, don't worry, I'll leave an upper decker. There was a point where I forgot to bring protection, quote unquote, if you know what I mean. And so I was heading towards the cash register, which I feel like it's always this one Walgreens on the way into Narragansett. I always stop in there and I always get the most embarrassing shit. It's like the most embarrassing stuff to check out with. And I always, I always get someone who's maybe a little bit on the older side, who's a little bit more mature, who's probably seen this countless times and is like, does not faze them at all. But this time I got a younger woman who was like college age. And I was just like, oh, dear God. And I could tell she was like, you're not you're not getting laid, dude. Are you kidding me? No one is bumping uglies with that ugly. But at the same time, there was a woman who younger than me, but was buying tampons. Part of me was like, I almost thought about saying out loud, well, looks like I don't need these. Like, what an opener. Sure, that would have worked. So yeah, I got to his house around 1:30. It's beautiful house, 3 stories, had an elevator, apparently. It's crazy. So he made us some drinks. I had a nice vodka drink with some strawberry vanilla soda and a cherry. Ate some of his leftovers. He had like sesame encrusted tuna strips with scallops and shrimp, coconut shrimp. So good. And then we went to Ocean Mist, this bar that's right on the beach. Managed to snag a standing table quickly. I let off with a Casamigos and club soda. And then I had a couple jalapeno palomas. And an iced tea that, not a Long Island iced tea, but a version of it, sort of. It's like it had Deep Eddy's vodka with the iced tea, and I think there was something else there. But as soon as we went to this open table, this woman just immediately opened up to us and was very friendly and welcoming. But was part of her own group with like her husband, her brother's fiance, who I swear I recognize. I don't know from where. And then her stepdaughter, who was like in high school or something like that. So I thought she was hitting on me. This is how poison toxic my brain is. It's like, no, she just, loves talking, loves gregarious type. Told us that she owns a house 3 doors down from the bar. And I was like, my God, I mean, you are living the life that I want. Like, to have a beach house on the beach and to be within walking distance of a bar. What more do you need in life? She was telling us all kinds of details. I guess the realtor said, you probably don't want this because it's inside a trailer park. No, it's not in a trailer park. It's near a trailer park. And it's not the trailer park that has been portrayed in movies and television. It's just not that kind of trailer park. It's like a nice trailer park. Like, I don't know. I think trailer parks get a bad rap, and I wouldn't mind living in one. There, I said it. They bought the house from a couple that after they divorced, and I guess the dude got the deed in the divorce. So I guess they got it for a discount, which is good. I don't know. The husband took off, and she was like, I don't know, interested that I was from New Jersey. I was like, oh, okay. You're from Connecticut? We're in Rhode Island. I'm from New Jersey. What's happening? We ended up going to this restaurant called Muse, sat outside by the fire pit. The fire pit did not work. And I say that because it probably did work. It's just I was too, I only had 1, 2, 3, 4. So maybe I did have 4 or 5 mixed drinks at Ocean Mist. And man, those are some serious pours. I think they got some heavy hands over at Ocean Mist. Was I overserved? Yes. But yeah, I couldn't get the fire pit to work. And like an idiot, ordered an espresso martini. At this point, it's dinner time. And I'm ordering an espresso martini. It came in a short plastic cup and was warm. It was so fucking gross. My buddy never got his drink. And then we were waiting for what seemed like way too long. And eventually figured we should go back up to the front area to ask what the deal is. And they're like, oh, your table's been ready. We just forgot to tell you. Like, oh, cool. So go to this corner booth. And the waitress serving us was a redhead covered in freckles. And I think I made a cringy joke. A cringy joke or all the cringy jokes? Yeah, all the cringy jokes. Thoroughly embarrassing everyone in the booth. Especially since I don't think that woman was... She was in her 20s for sure. I ordered a mahi burrito, and they must have given my dish to my buddy's wife and said it was a chicken burrito. And then I got her dish and didn't realize we both didn't realize we had the wrong dishes until it was way too late. It's like we had already eaten half of it. Like, what? This is not a mahi burrito. There's no tortilla. All I have is a fork. What's happening? And then we ended up heading back to the house. I smoked a cigar. I was also given a J. And unlike the last time when I was hanging out with them at the college graduation party, this time I had to cling to a column for dear frickin' life. I thought I was going to fall over. I thought I was standing on the edge of Earth. I somehow became a flat earther. And I thought that if I took one step back, I was falling into the abyss, into a black hole, a void, if you will, and I would to never to be heard of or seen again. That's honestly what was going through my head. So I'm clinging to this pole and I this column and noticeably, like people are like, "Are you okay? Like, are you shivering?" Because I felt like I was like I was it was like timber. I honestly thought that I was like, all right, someone done cut me at the calves and I'm going over. So I'm worried that I'm gonna fall over. I'm also not following what my buddy is saying at all because he was like holding court. You know, he's got the cigar, and so it feels like he's making a rousing speech. And I was like, I didn't understand a single word. So I'm laughing at him because he's like giving us this serious talk, and I'm like about to fall over. I don't know. What a scene. I have it written down here, but I don't know. I might have to fact check it. It was the top 5 most hammered I've been without blacking out. Like, I don't think I've ever been that close to falling, like knowing that I'm about to fall over and trying my damnedest not to fall over. I think I don't know if that's happened to me a lot or ever happened to me, but that definitely happened to me. Just let it get away from me, you know, because I don't think I had a ton at lunch. I don't think I had a ton at dinner. I had a light breakfast. So I think my buddy wanted to stay up and talk, and it was like not even 11, it might have been 10:30. I was like, I'm done. I'm cooked. I don't understand anything that's happening right now. Very nice bed, very nice bedroom. And I think I got some decent sleep. Woke up the next morning, my buddy was like, you had a night terror. And I was like, how is that even possible? Anytime that I drink or smoke, that's usually like I can clear that hurdle. Like, I'm not going to have a night terror. So for him to say I had a night terror is like, that's not supposed to happen. And then I was like, really? What did you know, I asked his son and his wife, like, did you guys hear me? Did I? And they're like, no way. I didn't hear anything. I was out. And so I guess my buddy's a little bit of a light sleeper, but I was like, what did I do? Did I scream? And he's like, oh, he said no. I was like, yeah, it sounds about right. So maybe I was more like sleep talking. And he was like, and I was like, so I just screamed no? I just yelled no? Or just said no? And he's like, well, it was more like, no. So no. So it's either I was thought I was a ghost, or I was thought I had actually fallen into this black hole. And I was just like, no. So we cleaned up a little bit, and then we went to this brunch at T's restaurant. A little bit of a wait. Waited about half an hour. Sat down, and our server was intense. He's like, this guy was all business, very quick. Like, at one point, my buddy's wife was like, I'll have the blueberry shake or whatever. And he's like, I advise against that. Don't order that. No one likes it. Order the other one. And she's like, okay. But it's like, it's literally a huge section of like the specials menu. And I guess that makes sense. I guess most of the shit on the specials menu is stuff that they're trying to get rid of. But like, there's this huge promo and call out for this blueberry shake, making it sound like it's the bomb. And then this guy's like, no, don't order that. Everyone hates it. I got a fans are raving omelet where it's like shaved steak with some chase and some home fries, which really hit the spot. And maple cinnamon French toast coffee. That shit was the bowls in the boom. Went down nice and smooth. Very good. So I wasn't able to catch the ferry that I wanted. I ended up getting the 12 o'clock traditional ferry. and I had to park in the parking lot that has the seagulls that shit everywhere. And I was like, well, whatever. It's just fine. I tried to go to another lot, and the guy gave me like a weird hand gesture. Like he gave me a five, like he put up a five fingers at first, and that could mean stop, or that could mean like there's 5 spots left, or it's $5. I don't know. It looked like, okay, maybe he doesn't want me to go in there, even though I could pull in there. And, you know, when we have gone to the ocean mist, it said lot full. My buddy pulled in, went anyway, and got a spot. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to turn around. And as I'm turning around, I see someone pull in. So I'm like, oh, I guess they are letting people in. So I go to turn in, and the guy's like, give me the cutting his throat gesture. And I was like, all right, I don't know what's happening here, but obviously I'm not wanted. I know it's hard for me to pick up stop signs here and there, as a lot of people can attest to, but that one is pretty clear. So I had to go in the lot with the friggin' seagulls shitting everywhere. On the way back, so after I spend the day and the night with my friends on Block Island, I'm walking back to the car, and I see all these seagulls in the field. They're just sitting there. They're not really moving, but they all have their mouths open, like, oh, I can't wait to see I can't wait to see their faces. Oh, when they see our shit all over their cars. Oh, like they're so excited to see us when we see that they've dookied all over our vehicles. Like they're just so pumped and excited and happy. That's the kind of look that they were given. But so while on Block Island, I was greeted with a Bloody Mary. Very nice. I've never had a Bloody Mary like this in my life. The flavors were amazing. It wasn't too spicy, to the point where I get heartburn. You know, changed in my some going out clothes. Went to the Ore and had a mudslide with a screwball peanut butter floater. Mwah. Very nice way to kick off things. Then I had a Dell's Shandy, which I back in summer of 2019. I believe it was, when we were living in Wayne. I was super into that because they had it at the local store. And I was like, oh, I love Dell's lemonade. Reminds me of growing up in Rhode Island. And it's got booze in it. Hell yeah. So got one of those, went down nice and smooth. Then we got a table, and I ordered a Narragansett beer, but I said, I'll have a Gansett. And I don't know that people say that. She understood what I was saying, but I feel like she was also college age and was like, my God, you're a fucking loser. So I had the fried codfish sandwich there, which was awesome, especially since I put the coleslaw and the tartar sauce on the sandwich, kind of like a topping, which, I'm sure people were supremely grossed out by, but it felt right for me. Then we migrated over to Shoals, Mahogany Shoals, Payne's Dock. They have a drink. I think it's called Colorado's First Day. That's not going to have it here, but it's got like that ghost pepper tequila that I like with some club soda and some lime. And I was like, I know you think this is going to be a sentimental order, but I really do like that drink. And my buddy was like, oh, like your bachelor party? Because I had my bachelor party in Denver. And I was like, oh, no. Nope. It's because of my ex-girlfriends from Colorado. So, oh my God. Didn't stay too long. I don't think we had more than one drink. I think I might have had 2 drinks there. Colorado's First Day and can't remember the second one. It's a good bar. It's a dock bar. A lot of good people watching. They got that main bar, big square main bar, like Tiki Hut bar. And then they have another bar inside, but I think that might have been closed. And then they have another bar upstairs, but it didn't look like it was operational. So I don't think we stayed for too long. But there are a lot of doggies, a lot of good boys and girls, a lot of dogs hanging out, moving around. And that's always fun to watch. So we went back home and made dinner. It was just like from one meal to the next. Just keep drinking, keep eating. I ended up cleaning oysters for the first time. So we got these oysters, Dutch Island oysters and West Passage oysters. And so I helped make this nice little, I don't know if we call it a sauce, but it's you pour it over the oysters once they're open and cooked. So I clean the oysters first, probably a little too thoroughly. And then we popped them on the grill. And I managed to keep the fluids in the oysters while taking them off the grill, which is it's a supremely difficult skill. And I think that makes me quite alluring as a bachelor. So yeah, clean the oysters, grilled the oysters. I think we had 24 oysters in total for 3 people. My buddy, my gal pal, as she wants to be called now. Yikes. And me. And so I think we each had 8 with the sauce. So good. The sauce was like, what was in that sauce, dude? Like, I want to say parsley and oregano with garlic. Yeah, because I had to peel the garlic and crunch it up and do the garlic press. The garlic press, dude, that is such an amazing tool. I don't think I've ever used it before, but like you just throw it in there. It's like a lemon squeezer type thing. You know, the juicer, handheld juicer, where it looks like a grip or a nutcracker. You place the garlic in the thing and then push it down and it squishes out. You know, if you're familiar with like a lot of Play-Doh, kind of like that meat grinder Play-Doh type situation. I had a bunch of martinis. My buddy is a master mixologist. I like mine with olives. So I got mine with olives. So trounced those oysters and then we made, cooked some lobsters. Boiled alive. I've never seen it in person. It freaked me the fuck out. I was like, whoa, they're alive. Are you going to kill them before you put them there? And he's like, nope. And just threw them right in the pot. And for some reason, I don't know if I've watched enough movies and TV shows where I see that happening. And I always thought they let out a little scream. But fortunately for me, because I would have lost it if I heard that scream. They did not scream. But apparently, if you kill them before you boil them or cook them, it doesn't taste as good. I don't know. Personally, I think my buddy has a bloodlust. And he craves being an alpha savage. And he has to taste the pain. I don't know. Took a pill, took some sort of chocolate bar that had something in it. Got into this insane text conversation with a scammer or spam bot where it's like, I don't know if I can see it on there. I wonder if I can see it on here because I'm using my phone no, it's not going to be here. But it was like a 424 area code or something like that. And she's like, hi, Lisa said that Lisa referred me to you and said I could come see you, that you're a good doctor. And I was just like, all right, I'm sick and tired of these messages. I'm just going to roll with it. I don't care if I'm hacked. I'm bored and I'm lonely. And yeah, they prey on the bored and lonely. So they know their target audience. And so I was like, I'm just going to mess with this person, you know, because we're all kind of sedated and like, we're talking, but it's like we're just kind of relaxing. And I thought it'd be interesting to like give them the play-by-play, which I did and they loved. So it's like, you know, I basically said that Mondays and Tuesdays I'm in Braintree in North Attleboro. Like I basically said, yes. I started off with yes. She said you'd be reaching out. Please give my office a call and ask for so I gave them our mutual friend's number. The 2 people I was hanging out with, our other friend, they were like, give him this our friend's number. So I give him my friend's number and I was like, call the office on Monday and we'll set you up with an appointment. And I gave my buddy's name because if she calls and gets the voicemail, she'll be like, oh, this is the guy that I need to talk to in order to get the appointment. So at the same time I'm messing with this person, I'm like, I'm 99% sure this is spam or a scammer. But if this is like an honest to God medical thing, like this is an old woman who really does need medical help and I'm fucking with her, I'm going directly, easy pass, fast lane to hell. Right now it's like I'm taking this scenic route, but like I'm going to get bumped up in line VIP style if this is a actual medical thing that's happening. So I was like, call the office on Monday, give him my buddy's number. And then she just kept asking questions. And I was like, well, I'm in the office on Monday and Tuesdays. I'm in Braintree and North Attleboro, which are in Massachusetts. And because I figured she's a local, I thought it was a local person for some reason, even though it's like a 424 or 6 something. It was a random area code. And then I was like, and then rest of the week, I was like, the rest of the week, I'm somewhere else. Because then she said, is this not Dr. John in San Francisco? So apparently she's West Coast based, and I'm giving her like, oh, my office hours are in Massachusetts. And so I said, oh, no. Like, I have hours out there in San Francisco. It's every other month I go out. And so she's like, wait, so this is not Dr. John on blah, blah, blah street. And I was like, oh, you want Dr. John, John. I'm Dr. John, Jon. And then she like asked for a picture. And so I literally Googled Dr. John, because she sent me a picture and I was like, okay. And that's when I realized, okay, this is not serious. This is not a medical condition. I don't have to worry about anyone's life being ruined. I get the picture of the Asian girl who is literally the like face of scams and spams across the internet. Like, this is the face of the person that is trying to sucker you into giving up value of their information. So I was like, oh, okay. So then I Googled Dr. John, and like I guess there's an Asian Dr. John. So I was like, oh, perfect. So I copy the image and paste it. And it had like a watermark on it. Like, here I am. And then it got weird. And I was like saying, she was like, well, even though you're not the Dr. John, you are a humorous doctor. Okay, humorous. And I still would like to be friends with you or friendly with you or something. It's all broken English. And I'm like, to be honest, I'm divorced and widowed, and it's just too painful for me to explore love at this point. It was good for a laugh that day because you're drunk, you're inebriated, you're feeling it. And then she like texted me the next day, and I was just like, I gotta block you and delete this. This is going down a really gnarly, nasty path. But yeah, that was the trip to Block Island. I think we went to bed pretty soon after that, before 11 yet again. And I got to sleep in a nice bed. No blackout curtains though. So, I was definitely didn't get the kind of sleep that I wanted, but my buddy made a nice little brunch the next day. It was like bacon, sausage patties, eggs, scrambled eggs with cheese, and like sourdough toasted bread, buttered. And then we still had burgers and dogs for lunch. I was like, so much food, but so good. I can't resist. The weather was so shitty the whole weekend. I guess you must have caught on, because I was like, we never went to the beach. We just never went to the beach. It was too cloudy. It was rainy. Just not great weather for hanging out on the beach. It cleared up a little bit, and we kind of hung out in the back and got some sun. I somehow got sunburned with a UV of 4. Dude, that's not burnable. UV. Went with my buddy to the dump. So the dump charges you money to throw stuff out. They charge 17 cents a pound for you to throw out your trash. What the hell is going on? And everyone I tell that to, they're like, yeah, well, it's an island. They have to pay someone to take it off the island. I was like, well, so then that's not included in taxes. So taxes got to be lower though, right? And people are like, I'm like, oh my God. You don't have to pay for trash disposal. Yikes. But it took me forever to get home. I got in my car around 4:10. My car's covered in seagull shit. And I don't think I hit full speed on any kind of road for the first 3 or 4 hours of the ride. There was a section where it was just like I'm going like 5 or 10 miles per hour, and I'm never getting home. Originally, I was supposed to get in at, I want to say 8:30 something, and then it went to 9, and then it went to 9:30, and I didn't get home till 10, after 10, I think. So it took me 6 hours to get home when it's normally supposed to take about 4.5, I think. So it's, an hour and a half in delays. And my God, there were some serious friggin' accidents, dude. I mean, even going up, when I made good time, there was one slowdown, and that slowdown was because there was a huge, horrific accident on the other side going south. So there's a huge barricade. We're going north, completely clear roads as far as the eye can see. And then on the other side, going the other way, there's a massive accident and a huge backup. And we're almost at a standstill on our side because people are fucking rubbernecking. Ugh, really burns my britches. But yeah, there was just accidents left and right. Some pretty bad accidents. But I think it was like 3 or 4. Ugh, and like Waze is trying to help me out. And I should have just followed Waze, but I was talking to my mom. My mom was like, "Oh, you don't do the Merritt Parkway. That's never a good move. Never a good move." And I agree. Like Merritt Parkway is like a 2-lane, high-speed highway. 2 lanes, very tight 2 lanes, narrow, 0 shoulder, with a guardrail on one end, and it's just like there's no room for error, and people will get all up in your tailpipe, dude. So that was that was tough. So I didn't go Merritt Parkway. And the whole time Waze is just like, all right, no, that's fine. Take the next right. Oh, you missed that. You missed that one too. Take the next right then. So, you didn't miss that one too. Just go ahead and take that next right. You went past that one as well. Okay, take the next right. It was just like, get off of 95, dude. And I refused. I stayed on 95 the whole way. It took me 6 hours to get home. So I got home at around 10. And I think I ended up watching House of Dragon. What an episode that was. Full recap coming never. Yeah. So that's the episode. A whole lot of movies to review. Hitman, Monkey Man, Godzilla -1. I just watched Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire. Yuck. Madame Web. And then Invincible Season 2. I guess I could review that. Probably going to finish up The Boys pretty soon. Going to finish up The Acolyte, House of Dragons. There's a whole bunch of stuff we can flap gums about, dude. So I bid you adieu. Thanks for listening. Muchas gracias para viendo, for watching. And talk to you next time. Adios, muchachos.